This is the story of a Christian nun who was brutally murdered in 1992. The case was filled with twists and turns. As witnesses changed their statements, some disappeared, and others tried to mislead the investigation. The mystery surrounding Sister Abhaya's death shook everyone, and it took 28 long years for justice to be served. Finally, in December 2020, the verdict was delivered. The story begins in the peaceful town of Kottayam, Kerala. In 1992, Kottayam, like many other Christian-dominated areas in Kerala, was a quiet place surrounded by churches and convents. One of the prominent convents was the St Pius X Convent, which housed a girls' hostel where many young women, including nuns, lived and studied. Among them was Sister Abhaya, a 21-year-old dedicated nun who had come to the convent to serve God and help others. She was a pre-degree college student and was preparing for her exams. On the night of 26 March 1992, Sister Abhaya decided to wake up early the next morning to study. She set her alarm for 4 a.m. and went to sleep. The next morning, she woke up with the alarm, washed her face, and wished her friends good morning, who were still in bed. After studying for about an hour, she decided to take a short break and went to the kitchen, possibly to drink water or splash some on her face to stay awake. When the other nuns and girls woke up later that morning, they noticed something unusual. Sister Abhaya was missing. They found a water bottle in the kitchen with its cap open, water spilled on the floor, and one of her slippers lying nearby. They searched the entire convent and campus but couldn't find her. Near the well, they found her other slipper. When one of the nuns looked inside the well, she saw Sister Abhaya's body floating in the water. The horrifying sight made her scream, and everyone realized what had happened. The police were called, and Sister Abhaya's body was retrieved from the well. Everyone was in shock. Just the night before, they had dinner together, laughed, and shared future plans. Sister Abhaya had shared her dreams and aspirations with them. She didn't seem depressed or unhappy in any way. The local police officer, V.V. Augustine, arrived at the scene and carefully examined the situation. After the body was recovered, a report was filed and photographs were taken. The body was then sent for a post-mortem. During the post-mortem, doctors found cuts and bruises on her body, including injuries to her head. The cause of death was determined to be drowning, but the possibility of murder was also considered. However, the initial report concluded that it was a suicide. This conclusion raised many questions. Why would Sister Abhaya set an alarm if she intended to commit suicide? Why was the fridge door open? Why was the water bottle cap open? And why was water spilled on the floor? These inconsistencies made people doubt the suicide theory. Many believed it was not suicide, but murder. They felt that someone was trying to hide the truth, especially since the incident happened inside a convent, a place where hundreds of girls came to study and learn about Christianity. The case became a hot topic in Kerala, and people demanded justice for Sister Abhaya. In April 1992, activist Jomun Puthanparakal formed a committee to seek justice for Sister Abhaya and uncover the truth. The case was transferred from the local police to the crime branch, which investigated for months but concluded that it was a suicide. By then, Sister Abhaya had already been buried and her clothes had been destroyed, leaving little medical evidence. However, the case continued to be a topic of discussion, and people refused to believe the crime branch's report. Under increasing pressure, the government handed the case over to the CBI in 1993. The CBI began a fresh investigation. They conducted dummy tests, creating a dummy of Sister Abhaya's size and weight, and threw it into the well to study the injuries. However, even after these tests, no clear conclusion was reached. In 1996, the CBI submitted a report stating that it appeared to be a murder, but they couldn't identify the culprits. In 1999, a new CBI team was appointed, and after another investigation, they concluded that Sister Abhaya's death was likely a murder. This time, the medical evidence played a crucial role. 3 doctors examined the body and found several injuries that had been overlooked in the initial post-mortem report. Witnesses, including nuns and the photographer who took pictures of the body, also confirmed these injuries. Despite these findings, the case remained unsolved. In 2005, another CBI team was formed, but they too failed to identify the culprits. By this time, public anger had reached its peak. Activists and the media accused the authorities of mishandling the case from the beginning. There were allegations of evidence tampering, and people believed that powerful individuals were trying to cover up the truth. In 2007, a breakthrough came when a thief named Adaka Raju came forward as a witness. Raju confessed that he had been stealing copper wires and rods from the convent on the night of the incident. He claimed that while he was about to jump into the convent, he saw Father Thomas Couture climbing the stairs to the girls' hostel with a torch in his hand. He also claimed to have seen Father Jose Putrukayal and Sister Sefi at the scene. This testimony changed the course of the investigation. Raju's statement led the CBI to name Father Thomas, Father Jose, and Sister Sefi as the main suspects. However, the defense lawyers tried to discredit Raju by portraying him as a professional criminal. Despite this, Raju stood firm on his testimony, even admitting to his past crimes while demanding justice for Sister Abhaya. In 2008, based on Raju's testimony, the CBI conducted narco-analysis tests on the suspects. The results of these tests were recorded on CDs, which were later found to have been tampered with. The doctor in charge of the tests, Dr. Malini, was suspended, and the CDs were sent for forensic analysis. It was discovered that the CDs had been edited multiple times. After this, the Kerala High Court ordered the CBI to present the original CD of the narco test in court within 10 days. However, just a few days later, the original CD of the narco test involving Father Thomas, Sister Sefi, and Father Jose, without any tampering, was broadcast on a local TV station. No one knew who broadcast it or how it happened, but the original narco test recording revealed that Father Thomas and Father Jose had committed the murder. According to their statements in the narco test, on the morning of March 27, 1992, Sister Abhaya was getting out of bed. It was quite hot that morning, so she went to the fridge in her hostel room to get water. As she was drinking water from a bottle, she heard some noises from the kitchen. She was startled and went to check. As soon as she entered the kitchen, she saw Father Thomas, Father Jose, and Sister Sefi in a compromising situation. Before she could run away, they attacked her brutally. Sister Sefi picked up a kitchen axe and hit her on the head, which was later confirmed in the post-mortem report as a deep head injury. Due to the injury, she was severely wounded. At that moment, they dragged her to a well nearby and threw her in to make it look like a suicide or an accident. After this CD was broadcast, the CBI started questioning all 3 at their office. In 2009, the suspects were released on bail, and the case dragged on for years. Finally, in 2020, the Kerala High Court convicted Father Thomas Couture and Sister Sefi based on the narco analysis results and Raju's testimony. They were sentenced to life imprisonment and fined 5 lakhs rupees each. Father Jose was acquitted due to lack of evidence. This case, which spanned 28 years, is one of the longest-running murder mysteries in India. It was finally solved, thanks to the testimony of a petty thief who stood by his truth despite immense pressure. Sister Abhaya's murder exposed the dark underbelly of power and corruption, but it also showed that justice, no matter how delayed, can prevail. Do you think justice was served? Let us know in the comments. For more real crime stories, subscribe to Crime in English and press the bell icon. Thank you.